How we doing, everybody? UFC Thoughts here, and today I'm going to be recapping UFC Vegas 95, Tybura vs. Spivac 2, that just happened. The event ended about 2 hours ago. I'm recording this late because, who gives a fuck? Let's just get right into this card. I don't have my monitor on, I don't have my PC on to remember the card, so I'm just going to have to go off my memory. Let's get to the main event, Tybura versus Spivac 2. Got over quick. Honestly, very impressive from Sergey Spivac, besides the fact that he lost the back take and got reversed. Landed a couple of decent shots in the first 10 seconds, got the takedown almost immediately. Got reversed, which wasn't that good, but then Sergey got his hips moving and got an armbar off the back. That's honestly very impressive. And that was needed for this card, for my sanity. This card was... I'm not even going to talk about the card until the end. Impressive performance from Sergey Spivac. I don't really know who you can give him after this. God, I don't remember the heavyweight rankings. It would be a murder, but rankings-wise, Pavlovich versus... not Tybura. Pavlovich versus Spivac makes sense. Rankings-wise, Sergey's probably going to go up to 8, maybe 7. Pavlovich is at 5. He's dropped 2 in a row. That'd be a way to get Pavlovich back in there. Spivac looked pretty good. Good win for him. Good win. I hope they don't do him and Pavlovich, because I honestly I'm kind of a fan of Spivac. I like him. But that fight rankings-wise would probably make sense. What you do with Marcin Tybura next, who cares? I honestly think he should probably retire. He's 38. Not a lot in the future for that man. So, yeah. We move to the co-main event. Damon Jackson versus Chepe Mariscal. Dogfight. Like I said it would be. I didn't say this in my video, but I noticed Chepe was just willing to do whatever it took to win. And I noticed that Damon wasn't. That's kind of the big story, is that Damon was not willing to do whatever it takes to win, because he's not willing to do whatever it takes to win. Chepe Mariscal is an all-risk, all-reward kind of fighter. High risk, high reward. You know, it's kind of his thing. He was dominating a lot of the grappling exchanges. I saw someone say they scored the first round to Damon Jackson. I don't know how you get that. Damon Jackson looked frail in this fight. Chepe kind of bullied him in a lot of the... I honestly thought the fight was going to get stopped in a couple of moments with the amount of ground and pound Chepe was landing on him. Chepe improves to 4-0. I don't know if you give him a ranking spot next. Does Dan Ige have a... he does. He has the Lerone Murphy fight booked. Barboza Chepe? I don't know. Chepe's on a 4-fight win streak against pretty decent competition. Damon Jackson, he got the fucking fake hairline beat off of him, Jesus Christ. It was a great win for Chepe, great showing. You need to make weight, though. I know he said in his post-fight he was trying everything to make weight. That's good to hear. Just try and make weight next time, bud. Because I hate when people miss weight and then have a career-defining performance. It's kind of shitty. We move. The featured fight, Danny Barlow versus Nikolai Veretinikov. This fight was terrible. Downright atrocious. I'm very disappointed. Danny Barlow lost a lot of stock in this fight. I know that he said that he had a rough training camp. Said that he didn't get surgery on his broken hand, let it heal naturally, which he should have gotten surgery. It seems like a financial issue, if I'm being honest. But not a great performance. Close fight. I don't know how anyone can come up with a 30-27 scorecard. I pretty definitively scored it. 1 and 2 are at least Danny Barlow. 1 and 2 are clearly Danny Barlow. Round 3 is probably Nikolai's round, I'd say, if I'm remembering correctly. Danny cut open Nikolai in the second round, and I thought he just out-volumed him in round 1. Nikolai did quite a bit in the third round. Yeah, Danny Barlow just didn't look as great as I'd like him to against a week's notice Nikolai Veretinikov. Yeah, I get it's a tricky fight. I get that he had a terrible training camp. Still, he looked a little sloppy. Very sloppy, in fact, in this fight. Not what I was expecting at all. I hope he's able to turn around for his next fight. I'm a huge fan of Danny Barlow. I fuck with him heavy. He just needs to improve. He needs to go back with Brian Hall and just keep working. For Nikolai, cool that he showed up on short notice. His fighting style was not the most entertaining. He was very hesitant, and Danny Barlow was as well. It was kind of a weird thing. It reminded me of Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou. They were so scared to initiate any striking exchanges with each other because of the power. So they kind of respected each other a little too much. But we move. Chris Gutierrez versus Quang Lee. Yet another Chris Gutierrez decision performance. A lot of leg kicks. It was close to getting finished in the third. Looked pretty solid in the third round. Chris Gutierrez did lose the second round via the grappling. I thought the second round was close, though. First round was pretty mediocre as well. Chris Gutierrez kind of just styled on him on the feet. Quang Lee couldn't really find the range. He was always out of range. He got leg kicked to death. He had some chances in the grappling. He got a back take at one point, from what I remember. Chris Gutierrez didn't get controlled too often, though. He did always kind of find a way back up to his feet. So good for him. But, yeah, again, kind of just a Chris Gutierrez performance. I don't know, he leg kicked a lot. Landed most of his punches, I'd say, in the third. Honestly, looked pretty solid in the third round. I'd like to see more of that, Chris Gutierrez. More third round Quang Lee, Chris Gutierrez, where he's actually pushing a pace. I know he's very in his head. He said it himself that he kind of struggles mentally sometimes going into fights. But I'd hope that he channels his inner third round Chris Gutierrez against Quang Lee in most of his other fights. So we move to, is it Yana Santos versus Chelsea Chandler? God, I hope so. Yeah, Chelsea Chandler just isn't good. That was a terrible pick on my part. I'm sorry. I thought that she would be better, and she is not. Chelsea Chandler is honestly terrible at fighting. She looked like she missed weight by a significant amount, which she did. I'm surprised that fight even happened, looking back on it. She's just not good. She looks like Shane Gillis. She fights how Shane Gillis probably would fight. I think I could beat Chelsea Chandler handily without getting a scratch on me. Chelsea Chandler. Yana Santos looked good. I'll give her that. I'll give Yana Santos her props. She honestly looked pretty solid in this fight. The best she's looked in a hot second. So good for her. Chelsea, you're fat. We move to the start of the main card. Toshiomi Kazama versus Karolampos Gregorio. I don't even know what to fucking say about this fight. I got this one wrong as well. I thought Kara would knock him out, which he came close to doing. I said Toshiomi would be able to grapple. That's his main key to victory in any fight. I think a lot of people forget how good Toshiomi's grappling is. He showed it a lot on the road to UFC. He literally only stood on his feet against Rinya Nakamura and Garrett Armfield. He shot for a takedown immediately in this fight. But I was assuming, that a guy like Karolampos, or Charlampos, however you fucking pronounce it, who trains with Aljamain Sterling and Merab Dvalishvili, would be able to grapple with a guy like Toshiomi Kazama. But apparently he can't. And also, Charlampos has the gas tank of a pug. He had one little burst of energy and then gassed out and never threw anything else and resigned himself to getting triangle choked. So, yeah, Charlampos, you're dog shit. We move. That's rude. Terrible performance by him. Toshiomi Kazama almost loses again because his chin is not good. His stand-up is dog shit. I will stand by this. His stand-up is atrocious. A person who has decent takedown defense and decent striking will knock him out. This is an example of that. So, I don't see how far Kazama goes outside of this. I think this is the only win he is going to get in the UFC, depending on how he gets matchmaked. But Charlampos, you're fucking cooked, bud. We move to the feature prelim. Karol Hossa versus Pani Kianzad. I have no idea why going into this fight, a ton of people were riding the Pannie Kianzad wave. They're like, Pannie Kianzad's the best underdog on the whole card, man. No, just no. Carol Hossa outclassed Pannie. She outdogged Pannie. She did whatever she basically wanted. She kicked her leg off of her body, cut her open a couple of times, just kind of beat on her a little bit. It was honestly a little criminal watching the fight. I was like, you fucking put your hands down. Stop fucking hitting her, dude. Like, Pannie is a dog. She's got a great heart, but Carol is just a better fighter at the end of the day, and I think a lot of people should have realized that. Carol, great win for Carol Hossa, back in the win column after the Irene Aldana fight at, was it 295, 296? I think it was 296, right? Yeah, 296. I'm confirming it to myself, I think. It probably wasn't 296, was it? Who gives a fuck? I remember got fight of the night. But, good for her. Good win. We move to Jonathan Deniz versus Carl Williams. The other fight that I got wrong, I went 7-3, by the way, if you didn't know. Carl Williams decided to strike at range with Jonathan Deniz, a Glory kickboxer, for the first 2 rounds. And then panically shot a takedown in the 3rd round and got it. I don't know what you want me to do with this. I thought, this guy shot 14 takedowns against Lucas Dresky. He shot 8 against Chase Sherman. He went like 3 of 3 against Justin Tafa. He's going to shoot on a guy like Jonathan Deniz, who is a better striker than all 3 of those guys. And he did not. In fact, he shot 3 takedowns in this fight, but there was about 4 minutes in between every one of them. So, yeah. Jonathan Deniz, good win. Still undefeated. Carl Williams needs to go back to the drawing board. I don't know what you want from me, dude. Like, you're a wrestler. Shoot a takedown, man. Shoot a takedown. Take down the Glory kickbox. You got him down in the 3rd. His gas tank sucks. He didn't even win the 3rd. We move, man, to Yusuf Zalal versus Jarno Aarons. Great performance from Yusuf Zalal. Was a little shaky early on in the feet. Jarno was a little unpredictable. Kind of made it hard for Yusuf to find his footing on the feet. But then when it got to the grappling, Yusuf immediately found Jarno's back. Jarno gave up his chin, and he kind of... I don't even think the rear naked choke ever fully got in. I think it was mostly a neck crank, but the pain was too much for Jarno and he tapped. Great win for Yusuf Zalal. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to doubt this guy moving forward after the Billy Quarantillo win. Great performance again. A little shaky on the feet than I'd like. But Jarno Aarons is a little weird to fight, especially considering how he looked in the Stephen Wynn fight. So, good for him. We move to the first fight of the night, Stephanie Luciano versus Talita Alencar 2. Talita didn't shoot a takedown basically at all. The only reason why anyone in the UFC, not in the UFC, in MMA picked her to win was because they thought that she would shoot takedowns a lot. She didn't shoot a single takedown, I think. And if she did, she didn't get it. Stephanie Luciano kind of picked her apart from range. Talita Alencar resides herself to losing a striking decision. So, what do you know? We had a couple idiots fighting in the Apex this Saturday. My title is true. This is one of the hardest watches in recent memory. A lot of this card I could give a fuck less about. And some of the moments that I thought were going to be good, like Danny Barlow, were not good. The main and co-main honestly saved this card a lot. Chepe versus Damon was very fun to watch because it was so sloppy. It was such a good dogfight, and then Spivac getting the sub in the first round was very entertaining. I liked it because the card was over. So, yeah. Lucas Tracy retired. Sucks to see. I thought I'd bring that up because, I don't know. Sucks to see, but Yeah, I'm very tired. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna try and get 2 videos out for you guys that are not picks and breakdown for UFC 305. I will game plan those right now, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.